Heartland on the Trail, the most exciting television coverage of the Midwest route. This week, join us as we travel to Lake of the Ozarks for the 2004 Heartland Pro-Am Classic. After a full season of collecting points, the top 40 anglers in Heartland's professional and amateur divisions take to the water for their chance to become this year's Classic champion. With 2 days of fishing, 2 divisions to crown, and 2 times the excitement, this Pro-Am Classic has it all. If you want to see how the region's best anglers catch fish in the fall, don't touch that remote. One is no stranger to bass tournaments. Its numerous docks and seemingly endless amounts of shoreline give anglers many different choices in presentations and styles of fishing. In a Pro-Am event, the pro angler fishes in the front of the boat and competes against other professionals, while the amateurs fish from the back of the boat and compete against each other. With a fish in transition between their summer and winter patterns, our anglers could have trouble locating quality bass.
I bet y'all are ready to see some fish caught, huh?
Today our cameras will be following 4 of Heartland's best. Dave Barker, who is a 2004 points champion, has 2 second-place finishes in Heartland events on Lake of the Ozarks this year. Eric Holt. Holt has won a tournament in every Heartland circuit this year, including a buddy event on Lake of the Ozarks. Jerry McCutcheon. McCutcheon is fishing on his home lake and is looking to capture another Pro-Am Classic crown. Kelly Williamson. Williamson is coming off a second-place finish in the Heartland Buddy Fish-Off and is looking to grab his second Pro-Am Classic victory. We find Lake of the Ozarks lake level at 657, 3 feet below pool. Water temperature is between 67 and 70 degrees. Water clarity is murky in the river arms and slightly stained in the main lake. The forecast calls for sunny skies with temperatures in the 50s during morning hours and warming into the 80s in the afternoon. While anglers wait for the fog to clear, we catch up with Dave Barker, who gives us a sneak peek into his game plan.
I'm going to go up the river, and I plan on fishing a spinnerbait, a jig, and some laydowns in shallow water. I got some stumps and some laydowns that seem to be holding some pretty good fish. If I can't get them to bite, if the wind will blow a little bit, I'll get them to bite. But if the wind doesn't blow and I can't get them to bite, then I'm probably going to come back down to the main lake and fish boat docks, deep boat docks, probably what I'll try. And I'll be, on those, I'll be fishing with a fluke or a Senko type bait, something like that. I've been having trouble catching fish on the jigs on the boat docks, but I believe today is be a little better day.
After the fog clears, we catch up with Kelly Williamson near Porter Mill Bend.
These shads have moved back in the back of these creeks, and it seems like these fish have come back here and they've been just laying right underneath the corners of the docks, kind of ambushing the shad when they come by. Anyway, I hope they are. It seems like they've just been being on the back, about the back 3 or 4 docks is where I've been getting most of my bites. Seems like the bite has been a little better after the sun's up a while. We had a cloudy day yesterday, and it seemed like most of the fish were mighty small yesterday.
Eric Holt makes a 50-mile run up the Osage River near Feaster Branch.
It was weird having that bite on that ramp back there a minute ago because I haven't been getting bit off of rock banks at all. Everything's been on the docks. I've just been little fish, so it's hard to tell. I fished every dock in this cove Thursday, and I only had 4 bites. I set on the first 2, and it was a 5 and about 3.5 or so, and then the other 2 I didn't set on, and one of them, I got him up to the top. Could barely see him. He felt like a real big one and looked like a good one. And I've got 2 more creeks that I've got to allow enough time to fish. We got fogged in for a couple hours, but he also lengthened the time by an hour and a half for weigh-in, and generally these type of fish I'm fishing for bite better later in the day, so it should help me.
We joined Dave Barker in Big Buffalo Creek pitching a black jig with a blue Zoom Super Chunk trailer.
Well, there's a lot of laydowns and stuff in this, and there's a little bluff here. This is the channel. We're right in the channel here. There's a little bluff here, and there's some rough rocks and some laydowns in that channel. Usually I catch my fish best in the flat out there and those laydowns out on the flat, but you can see there's a boat on every one of them this morning. They usually are better up in the day after the fish are all scattered out this morning, and up in the day they'll tend to collect around those laydowns, and it makes it a little easier to pinpoint where they're at.
We catch up with Jerry McCutcheon in Rainy Creek. He already has 2 keepers in his live well, but his bite has slowed down.
The game plan was to catch my limit off of these docks right here. Right around here today, and then tomorrow I was going to go on up and catch some others, but if I don't hurry up and start catching them off these docks, we may cut out here, head her up the lake a little further.
New look, new feel.
Seems like most of the fish will hit it on the fall. If you throw it up there and try and work it back, it don't seem like they'll hit it. It just seems like they want it falling. I think because a lot of the fish I don't think's on the bottom. I think a lot of them is suspended. Usually when you pick it up, they're there. You feel them hit it when it's dropping.
No, sir, they are not biting off these docks today.
What's Plan B consist of?
Huh?
What's Plan B consist of?
Going up there and fishing that rock bank and going to the back of a couple of creeks.
I usually like to have 2 or 3 patterns to. I don't think you'll make it.
Silly, I'm old. You gotta give me a chance, bud.
I hope they're big enough you get a lot of chance.
Netter? I don't think so.
Doesn't look like he was a netter.
He was.
After his amateur Daryl Mitchell gets another quality bite, Eric Holt decides to change up his presentation. Kelly Williamson is targeting fish suspending underneath docks. He's looking for shad activity near the surface to help him locate fish that are feeding.
That last cove was at, the shad was down about 3 to 4 foot. You could just barely see them. And when we come up the river here, the water changed back down the lake and got a little bit more color. And I was hoping it'd bring them up. When we got up here, the shad's right up on the surface, just swimming around on the surface. And it seems like that's what it's been taking to catch these fish. It seems like when the shad come up, the fish come up with them.
There we go. You slow down, I'll get it for you.
That's a Kentucky. I haven't been getting bit behind the docks. That might have told me something. But a lot of times them Kentuckys, you're apt to catch them anywhere. I'll pay more attention to where I catch a black. But the Kentuckys, it seems like they just kind of roam. The blacks will pick them out a spot. It seems like they'll stay more on it, but the blacks were all on the back corners of these docks, but that Kentucky being up there could have been a fluke, and it might not have, but I'm not going to chance it. I'll fish some of the floaters up there and see if he happens to be on any more of them. It's that line. You can just see that line of shad down through there, and that's what it's been taking. When that line is shad, it'll go right outside these docks. Seems like they just be laying right on the corners. And I'm hoping that's what'll happen here.
We could catch 4 or 5 fish in an hour, pretty easy. But they're being beat to death. You wouldn't think as far as we ran to come up here that there'd be that many people up here fishing this.
The fish are getting harder to find and the bites are few and far between. Will the dock pattern prevail, or will going into the creeks be the right move? Stay tuned and find out. Williamson in the Osage Arm.
Hey, little one. But they maybe want to get more on the
You
back.
stood up and sat there, and I didn't know if you had him or not. You didn't say nothing.
Well, I kind of thought it might have been a good one for a minute.
Sitting there waiting on you to say something, I guess.
If it's a good one, I'll let you know. I'll scream.
Jerry McCutcheon has moved to Deer Creek. He explains why he has abandoned his dock pattern.
They've been down there on them docks until Friday, and they wasn't on them very good Friday, so I come up here on this bank Friday, and I had a couple decent fish. Went on back in the back there and had a couple back there. And I don't know, I'd really rather fish this kind of stuff than I would them boat docks, so boat docks not producing, so here I am.
Getting out the heavy arsenal now, boys. It's gonna be just a total change here. Still gonna leave a couple of flipping rods out, but you ready to roll?
Oh, did you see him?
I seen a swirl behind you.
Get it.
Come up after it, huh?
Swum it by there, and boy, he could run out after it. If he wasn't about 14 inches long, unless he was a Kentucky.
That must be him. He followed you back down.
They're just too short. Head's too close to their tail.
Yep, deformed.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that a nice one?
Another small fish for McCutcheon. Eric Holt has moved to Newton Hollow and is still looking for his first keeper.
Why don't you go ahead and grab the net since this is a crankbait fish? I don't know if he'll make it. I guess I should have just landed him instead of playing with him. We ran out of the shad right here and ran out of the bites too, and I don't think it's a coincidence. I think what fish there are biting are back there with the shad, but I'm just afraid there might be a bunch of small ones. Just can't figure out where those bigger fish are.
The only fish that we have found has been those pieces of isolated cover off the bank. I'm going to go up to that old laydown up there and we'll fish it. Then I'm going to idle over and fish the back of that pocket there, and we're going to get out of here.
Eric Holt is fishing hard to try to catch up, but he is still having a problem finding fish that measure.
Little guy. There's one. Yeah, I don't think he's going to make it. Yeah. Get a net under that one there just in case. Oh, yeah, he's going to make it. Yeah. All right.
There's a keeper. Alrighty then.
We're doing stuff like that when I ain't ready. It's getting hard, though. I thought he's gonna get off.
6 pound body, or 3 pound body, 6 pound head.
Kelly Williamson has returned to Portermill Bend.
Well, Hutton's a keeper.
Long
I
sucker.
think.
Skinny.
He's skinny, but he's I think he's 12 inches. Well, he isn't much, but he's a lot more than what I got.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
You there?
Yeah, he's...
That the fish you've been looking for?
No, yeah, all day.
I mean, the one under that, was that the dock?
That was a dock, but that ain't the fish. I think he's big enough.
Marty Conrad is the first pro to weigh in a good fish.
He's got a good kicker. 343 on that fish. This will make him a leader. Marty, I think fishing got tougher. I heard a lot of good things earlier in the week.
Now, there'll be a lot of fish caught today.
Okay, we're going to count on that. You'd know if anybody does. There you go, and there is a good bag. 4 fish. Needed that other. 11:02. Give him a hand. There's a nice bag of fish.
His 11.02-pound stringer gives him the tournament lead until Lance Williams comes to the scales.
Keepers today. Here's his best 5. Here's your new leader, Lance Williams. 1240, 12.40.
On a tough day of fishing, Lance Williams' limit weighing 12.40 pounds is looking good, but many more anglers are heading toward the stage. Who will be on top after day 1? That answer...
He's got 4 of them, but look at this one here. 463 on that fish. He's got 3 more to go with it. You got to be feeling good right now.
Pretty good, yeah.
What about tomorrow? Have you learned something? I think you figured out something, or did you just have a really good ride? What do you think?
I learned something.
There we go. He's thinking boats, what he's thinking. Looky here. Biggest bag of the day, 4 fish. 14. Give him a hand.
His total weight is 14.14 pounds. Kelly Power makes his way to the stage.
New leader. No, he's not going to quite. He is going to, it could be any way. 12:37. He is 3 300ths out of first place.
Pro Larry Crouch takes his shot at Lance Williams, but falls just shy of the mark with 12.05 pounds. Amateur Derek Wright is able to capitalize on 3 bites and weighs in 8.70 pounds. His 3 fish currently give him second in the amateur division. Bill Beck is the next pro to bring in a good limit of fish.
It's not a problem now. Looky here. Here we go. New leader. Oh, this is the one we've been looking for. 17.05. 17.05 pounds.
Bill Beck's 17.05 pound stringer secures him the first place position for day 1. Second place goes to Lance Williams with 12.40 pounds. And in third, Kelly Power, who weighed in 12.37 pounds. Here's the top 10 scoreboards for day 1. Join us next week as we wrap up the 2004 Heartland Pro-Am Classic at Lake of the Ozarks. More excitement, more tips, and more fishing action is on its way. Don't miss it.